vulnerable and innocent amongst us, the unborn, we are told that they have no rights or protection under our Constitution. The unborn child can legally be murdered in our land, and all the while being called women's health care. How can we ask you to bless us when we sacrifice our children in such a way? Lord, there are people in our land who believe that this is their right. How can this be? Lord, we don't deserve even the least of thy favors, but we humbly beseech thee to save America. Send revival fires to sweep across our beloved land. We know that this cannot happen until we heed the warning of 2 Chronicles 7, which says, "If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and will heal their land." Lord, please place within the White House a righteous man and give him wisdom in knowing how to lead this great nation. Help him to fill his cabinet with people who love righteousness and our land. Lord, please fill the Senate and the House with righteous people. Please help our government to be of the people, by the people, and for the people. We realize also, Lord, the Supreme Court hangs in the balance. Lord, protect us from the enemy without and the enemy within. Thank you for those who put themselves in harm's way to watch over and protect us. We thank you for our military and police. And Lord, place within the White House a man who will always support them. Lord, once again, help the United States of America to be the light of the world and a city on a hill which cannot be hid. 1 Timothy chapter 2, we read, "I exhort, therefore, that first of all, supplications, prayers, intercessions, and giving of thanks be made for all men, for kings and for all that are in authority, that we may lead a quiet and peaceable life in all godliness and honesty. For this is good and acceptable in the sight of God our Savior, who will have all men to be saved and to come to the knowledge of truth." Lord, we desire to live a quiet and peaceable life, free from government intrusion. Lord, move across our beloved land tomorrow and awake thy people from their slumber and have mercy upon us. We ask this in the wonderful, matchless name of our Savior, the Lord Jesus Christ, who is King of kings and Lord of lords. Amen. Please welcome Representative Fred Doucette, who will lead us in the pledge.
Thank you, Fred.
It's my distinct honor to be able to lead us in our nation's Pledge of Allegiance, something that we should do at every gathering in this country, a gathering of 3 or more. I'd also like to remind any veterans in attendance tonight to observe the proper protocol, salute the colors. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. It's also my distinct pleasure and honor to introduce a very talented young man, a very inspirational young man who was born blind, struggles with, I'm forgetting the disease now, I'm drawing a blank. Christopher, help me out. Come on up here and help me out, brother. This is Mr. Christopher Duffy, a very talented, very inspirational, very motivated Trump supporter, here to sing our national anthem.
If you can, please join me in singing. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Global special interest. They partner with these people that don't have your good in mind. The political establishment that is trying to stop us is the same group responsible for our disastrous trade deals, massive illegal immigration, and economic and foreign policies that have bled our country dry. The political establishment has brought about the destruction of our factories and our jobs as they flee to Mexico, China, and other countries all around the world. It's a global power structure that is responsible for the economic decisions that have robbed our working class, stripped our country of its wealth, and put that money into the pockets of a handful of large corporations and political entities. The only thing that can stop this corrupt machine is you. The only force strong enough to save our country is us. The only people brave enough to vote out this corrupt establishment is you, the American people. I'm doing this for the people and for the movement, and we will take back this country for you, and we will make America great again.
Single day, we would not be here without them.
I also want to
I'm
say
Donald
thank
Trump,
you to the
and I
Trump
approve this
family.
message.
What an inspiration they have been through all the attacks. They have stood true. And I want to say thank you personally to Mr. Trump. He has put his life, his honor, his wealth, and his most prized possession, his family, on the line for us. And he said on day one that he would fight for us. And every single day he has kept his word. He has fought for us. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is our turn to fight for him. On September 14th, 1814, Francis Scott Key sat in a boat and watched all through the night as the British Army, the strongest army in all the world, bombed Fort McHenry. Cannon after cannon went off through the night. He could not see the flag, he could not see the fort, he could not see land. He wondered to himself, when this night is done, will we have a country left? How many of you over the last 8 years have asked yourself, when this is done, will we have a country left? Francis Scott Key, the next morning, wrote these words, the second verse of the Star-Spangled Banner. On the shore dimly seen through the mists of the deep, where the foe's haughty host in dread silence reposes, what is that which the breeze o'er the towering steep, as it fitfully blows, half conceals, half discloses? Now it catches the gleam of the morning's first beam, in full glory reflected, now shines in the stream. 'Tis the Star-Spangled Banner. Oh, long may it wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Ladies and gentlemen, on Wednesday, November 9th, we will wake up to a new America. When the smoke from this campaign is gone, there will be one man, our new president, and we will take back our country. We will return to the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. We will appoint judges that respect our Constitution. We will support all of our troops with the very best health care possible. We will defeat radical Islamic terrorism. And we will build a wall. We will stop illegal immigration. We will stop the drug cartels. We will stop the heroin epidemic. And we will put America back to work, making things here again. And we will protect all human life, born or unborn. Tomorrow, we will win. Tomorrow, we will take back this great country. And tomorrow, we will start to make America great again. It is now my honor to introduce to you State Rep and also co-chair of this great campaign, Representative Steve Stepanek.
Wow. What a crowd. So tell me, how excited are you that Donald Trump is going to be the next president of the United States of America? When I first endorsed Donald Trump 17 long months ago, no one thought he had a chance. What the establishment didn't know, what the pundits didn't know, what the media didn't know, was that the American people had had enough. Enough promises that were never kept. Enough lies like you can keep your doctor if you like your doctor. You were looking for an outsider, a leader, a champion who would fight for you. 17 good qualified candidates started in June of last year. 12 hard months later, against all odds, Donald Trump emerged as the people's clear choice. Your choice to fight for you against the corrupt, failed policies of Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. Our economy is barely growing. Your wages haven't increased in the last 15 years. Clinton and Obama said, you can keep your doctor. You can't. They said health care costs would drop by $2,500. They didn't. They went up by over $4,000, and they're going to go up another 25% next year. Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama think the economy is just great. It just needs to be tweaked a little bit. What do you think? Do you want 4 more years of the last 8? Under Clinton and Obama, America is no longer the world leader it once was. The Middle East is in flames. Russia, seeing our weak leaders, is emboldened to attack its neighbors. Red lines are drawn and then crossed with no consequences. Good Americans were murdered under Hillary Clinton's watch. And what was her response? At this point, what difference does it make? Americans never leave their people behind. Does this sound like an American? Is this someone that you want to lead our great nation? Obama just said under his and Hillary Clinton's leadership, the world has never been safer. Do you feel safer? Our borders are a joke. Illegal immigrants, terrorists, and drugs are pouring into our country. Hillary Clinton said, I will solve the immigration problem in the first 100 days. I will pass legislation to grant all illegal immigrants citizenship. Alarmingly, this will open the door for millions of more illegals to flood our nation. Will this solve the problem? Will this make you feel safe? What we need to do is build a wall and make America safe again. Who is going to build the wall? Who's going to pay for the wall? Over the next 4 years, at least 3 Supreme Court justices will be appointed by the next president. Donald Trump has put forth a pool of 20 highly qualified candidates who are constitutional conservative individuals who will uphold the United States Constitution, not rewrite it. Hillary Clinton has not even talked about who she would nominate. She and the Democrats are first rewriting our Constitution. They will then go out shopping for the proper justices. They want to eliminate the First Amendment and replace it with politically correct speech. They want to eliminate the Second Amendment and make this country a gun-free zone. They want to eliminate states' rights and replace it with the states have no rights. This is the dream of Hillary Clinton and the Democrats. All power in their hands, all decisions made by Washington and the Washington bureaucrats. You, the people, know nothing. They know everything. Don't worry. They will make all your decisions for you. Is this what you want? We as a nation are at a crossroads. Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama have eroded the bedrock of what made our nation great. For the first time in history, we are going to leave our children and grandchildren not with a nation that is better than what we were left, but with a nation that is broken and badly in need of repair. This may be our last opportunity to reclaim what we once had. We need someone who needs to get things done. We need a leader. We need a champion, not another politically correct politician. We need to make America, our America, great again. We need Donald Trump. Donald Trump said at the Cleveland Convention that he will fight for us and he will fight for America. Let me ask all of you, will you fight for Donald Trump? Will you fight to save America? Because Donald Trump cannot do it alone. He cannot fight the left-leaning biased media alone. He cannot fight the special interest groups who care nothing about you alone. He cannot fight the corrupt, lying, Democratic machine alone. He needs every single one of you by his side fighting to save America. Tomorrow is a critical day. We need all of you out, not only voting. We need you to bring 5 more people along to vote. We have to make sure that we leave no stone unturned tomorrow. We have to make sure that Donald Trump is victorious tomorrow. And we also need to look at, when we go in that voting booth, we not only have to vote for Donald Trump, but we need to vote for the entire Republican ticket. When Donald Trump is our next president, he will need a Republican Senate and a Republican Congress to save America. And we need to make sure that he gets just that. Now, I've been a state rep for 5 terms. Unfortunately, 4 of those terms I've served under Democratic governors, and it was not pretty. For God's sake, we need a Republican in the corner office in New Hampshire. We need Chris Sununu as the next governor of this great state of New Hampshire. So tomorrow, we need all of you to go out, not only and vote, but bring others with you to vote. And we need to work hard, and we need to spread the word that we need to make America great again. We need to elect Donald J. Trump as the next president of the United States of America. It is now my honor to introduce my candidate for Congress, Representative Jim Lawrence.
Can I tell you what an honor it is to see a great army of Trump supporters out tonight? I'm Jim Lawrence, and I'm running for Congress because Washington is broken. The people of the 2nd Congressional District here in New Hampshire sent Ann Custer down to Washington to do one thing: provide solutions. Instead, she got in bed with the party bosses and voted with the current administration's failed policies over 90% of the time. It's time for new leadership in Washington. I served 3 terms in the New Hampshire State House. I'm also an Air Force veteran, proud graduate of the United States Air Force. proud graduate of the United States Air Force Academy, small businessman, but most importantly, proud family man and parent of 8 wonderful children. I couldn't look my children in the eye, knowing that I stood by and did nothing while Washington spent their future prosperity away. The national debt now sits at $20 trillion and counting. And unfortunately, our government doesn't just stop there. They're continuing to overregulate and overtax our small businesses, which we know are the economic engine of this great nation. Is Hillary Clinton going to solve all these problems we're facing? We need to elect Donald Trump, the next president of the United States. We have the worst foreign policy in decades. Our allies don't feel like they can count on us, and our enemies certainly don't fear us. Who gave us this foreign policy? I think Secretary of State Hillary Clinton had something to do with that. I wouldn't worry, I wouldn't fear, because tomorrow the voters will come out and they will elect our next president, Donald Trump, who will the voters will elect Donald Trump, and I'm going to tell you one thing. He can't do it alone. I can't do it alone. We need your help. We need you to come out and vote. We need you to tell your friends to vote. We need you to come out and tell everyone to vote for Donald Trump and every other Republican on the ballot. So I'm going to ask for your vote tomorrow for Donald Trump. I'm going to ask for your vote tomorrow for Jim Lawrence and every other Republican on the ballot. I'm going to ask for you to stand with me so that Donald Trump and Jim Lawrence can stand up for you in Washington. I'm going to ask you to do that because we can do better. So let's get it on. Let's elect Donald J. Trump, President of the United States. It gives me great honor to introduce our next speaker. Let's hear it for Governor John H. Sununu.
Hey, hey. This is a great, intimate, small gathering of 10,000 of our closest friends. It's great to have you here. The clock has run down. Tomorrow is the day. Are you all ready to go out and to vote to change America and bring New Hampshire back to where it ought to be? It's amazing all the hard work you've put into this. And it is important to close the deal. And that means you've got to vote, and you've got to take your friends and your family to vote. It doesn't work if we don't do that extra little bit of work and make it happen. I get asked by the press all the time, how come you're voting for Donald Trump? How come you're supporting Donald Trump? And I tell them, it's very easy. Hillary Clinton makes it easy to support Donald Trump. We have never had a candidate running on the Democratic side that is as close to a full-bred socialist as Hillary Clinton. Her two favorite surrogates are the self-avowed socialist Bernie Sanders and the not-so-quite self-avowed socialist Elizabeth Warren. That's all you need to know. But there's another reason. The Clinton operation for a quarter century has instilled in the Democratic Party a culture of corruption that is unbelievable. That culture of corruption went into the head of the Democratic Party, and they tucked it to poor Bernie Sanders. He had no idea what they did to him. How can any Democrat worth their salt who cares about Bernie Sanders, how can they show up and vote for Hillary Clinton? Corruption across the board. You're right, but it doesn't end there. They're so corrupt, it creeps into the state Democratic parties. In Virginia, you've got Terry McAuliffe brings Mrs. Clinton in. They raise money for his PAC. They give $500,000 plus to the lady running for the state Senate in Virginia. And who is she? She's the wife of the deputy director of the FBI that's investigating the Clintons. Corruption, it's a bribe. Here in New Hampshire, corruption again. Maggie Hassan gets caught in pay for play. She has to return $71,000 in illegal contributions. Van Ostrand, running against that great candidate for governor, Chris Sununu, gets caught in pay for play. Corruption all over the place. We do have to clean the system out. We do have to make a change at the national level. We do need a change in New Hampshire. And tomorrow when you vote, you're going to do that. We need Donald Trump and Mike Pence. And in addition to that, we need in this state, because we have drifted away from what made New Hampshire so special, we do need Chris Sununu, and I tell you, one of his great assets is he comes from good breeding stock. But as important as that, we've got to give Donald Trump the tools to help him. He cannot make change without a Senate under the control of the Republicans. We need Kelly Ayotte to go back. We need a Congress that'll send the legislation. We need Congressman Ginta and Jim Lawrence to go to Washington. We've got to vote the full ticket, top to bottom. Last message. We all know Republicans that have some doubts. We all know independents that have some doubts. You've got to tell them they've got to come home tomorrow. They've got to be part of this change. They will be sorry if they do not do what they need to do. The task is yours. The responsibility is yours. Take a couple of friends to the polls. We'll make New Hampshire great again, and we'll restore New Hampshire to what it used to be. Now it's my pleasure to give you one of those folks that will be a great asset to Donald Trump, someone who will help the Congress put those programs through that will make a difference. It's my pleasure to introduce our Congressman, Frank Ginter.
Hey, everybody, we getting fired up? Are we fired up or what? You know, I've been in this building a couple times before, and I have never seen a crowd like this. This is unbelievable, and I'll tell you why. Because it's about time that the country sees change. It's about time that we give people true hope. It's about time that we elect a guy named Donald J. Trump. You know, it's an honor for me to serve this great state as a congressman. But let me tell you, we need help. You need help. We need to send the right people to D.C. who are not going to be afraid to change up the status quo. We need people who are going to focus on real change, because it's not just our immediate future that's at stake. It's your kids, it's your grandkids. Think about the country they're going to inherit if we don't do the right thing tomorrow. We're going to help you, and you're going to help Donald Trump, right? I got to tell you, there's an energy and an excitement in New Hampshire right now. I feel it, I see it. I've traveled around our state trying to talk about conservative principles where we can help those in upward mobility get a better opportunity, a better job, better class of life. But that's because people are hurting. For the last 8 years, people have been concerned about their future. Tomorrow, we have a choice between two people. You can elect a team that's going to put you first, or you can elect a team that's going to think of themselves first. Now, I had the distinct honor of serving with a guy named Mike Pence. Let me tell you something about Mike Pence. He's a man of honor and distinction. He's a great leader. And when Donald Trump chose him, I thought that was a pretty great choice to make. Mike's going to come out here and tell you he's, in a certain particular order, a Christian, a conservative, and a Republican. And I can vouch for that. He's a man of honor and integrity, and he's going to do everything to put your interests first. He's going to listen to the people. That's what he's done all of his life. I've been honored to know him. I'm honored to serve with him. But tomorrow, we've got to make sure that we elect the Trump-Pence ticket one more time. There is so much at stake. There is so much at stake with this election. We all talk about how the next election is the most important one. But think about the crossroads that we're at. I want you to think about your family, your grandparents or your children or your grandchildren, and think about the future. Think about their future. And understand the importance of voting Republican top to bottom of this ticket tomorrow. Think about the people who are going to put you first. Think about the people who are going to sacrifice to make your lives better. New Hampshire has an incredibly important choice to make. These polls are tight. But I have never seen a crowd, and I have never seen a group of people so excited to do the right thing tomorrow. You guys are unbelievable. I am so happy you're here, and we need you to get out tomorrow and bring every single person to the polls. From first thing in the morning until last thing at night, we got to make sure we get people to come out, because they're tough. They're tough opponents. Now, I want to talk about a group of people who are in the room tonight. Can we give a big round of applause for our veterans? I got to tell you, thank you. Thank you to our veterans. Thank you very much for putting your lives on the line for our freedom, for my children's freedom. There's a young man over here named Lionel LeBlanc. Put your hand up there, Lionel. World War II veteran. Lionel, put your hand up. Lionel, you're right there. Put your hand up, Lionel. There, right there. Thank you. Thank you. There are so many people across our great state and across our great country that have that hope for tomorrow's election. And I will tell you, when we elect the right team, when you elect people who on their first 100 days of office are going to pledge to repeal Obamacare and give you patient-centered health care for a change, when you elect people who are going to reduce your taxes, give you back more of your hard-earned money, when you have people who are going to protect your Second Amendment rights and make sure that we elect strict constitutionalists to the bench, that team is the Trump-Pence team. And I couldn't be prouder of this team here today that's going to make sure we get every single person out to support a better America, a stronger America, a more vibrant America. And let me tell you, I've lived in this state a long time. I hope you all join me in making sure we have a Republican governor come tomorrow night. Our state needs it. Our state deserves it. Chris Sununu has worked so hard for this state. He is going to turn our state around again. Tomorrow night, I want you to do one more thing. I'm going to ask you when you go vote, you vote for Frank Ginta for Congress. Make sure you have a friend and a fighter and someone who's going to help the next president and the next vice president of the United States. So let's make sure we go get him, okay? After tonight, it doesn't stop. We run through that tape tomorrow night. We run through that tape tomorrow night, and then the beginning begins. A better America begins. Making America great again begins after tomorrow night. Thank you all very much. Let's go get them. And in just a couple of minutes, the great governor of the state of Indiana, Mike Pence, is going to be out here to give you a few words. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night. Thank you.
Hello, New Hampshire. I'm Mike Pence. I'm the governor of Indiana. And 3 months ago, it was my high honor to accept my party's nomination to run, and in just one day to have the opportunity to serve as the next Vice President of the United States of America. And I want to thank my friend, Congressman Frank Ginta. I want to thank my friend. But Frank and I have known each other for a while. Frank knows the introduction I prefer is pretty short. I'm a Christian, a conservative, and a Republican in that order. And I will just tell you, I joined this campaign in a heartbeat because you have nominated a man for president, a man who's on his way here right now. But you've nominated a man for president who never quits, who never backs down. He is a fighter, he is a winner, and until very recently it seemed like he was out there fighting all on his own, but now this movement is coming together. New Hampshire is coming together. We're going to make Donald Trump the next president of the United States of America. You know, I really do believe that Donald Trump literally embodies the spirit of America. You with me on that? I mean, strong, freedom-loving, independent, optimistic, and willing to fight every single day for what he believes in and for what will make America great again. You know? And it's not like it's exactly been a fair fight out there. You know what I'm talking about? I mean, ever since I joined this ticket, you know, it's like I got to turn on the television with a stick, you know. I don't know what's going to be on there, you know. It's like it's been 2-on-1, right? With the national media doing half of Hillary Clinton's work for her every day. But you know, the amazing thing is Donald Trump is still winning hearts and minds, and he's going to win all the way to the White House. It was kind of fun to watch about a week ago. Do you remember seeing all those TV shows about how this campaign was all rolled up? Remember? It's all but over. Hillary Clinton was out there naming cabinet appointments or something. She was measuring curtains in the Oval Office. Did you? And then the American people showed up. But then, you know, for all those pundits out there saying it was all over, the American people showed up. And I think the people of New Hampshire were never fooled. This race is on. We are leading in one national poll after another, and it is wheel to wheel here in New Hampshire. And we're going to sprint to the finish and take the checkered flag. You know, Hillary Clinton may have the media, the money, and the special interests on her side, but Donald Trump and I got something a little more powerful. We got a basket of American people that are saying enough is enough. We're going to make America great again. You know, it really is amazing if you think about it. I mean, I can see you're all gathered here tonight, the night before this historic election, because you know this isn't just a choice between two people. This is a choice between two futures. So let me tell you where I stand. I choose a stronger America. I choose a more prosperous America. I choose an America that stands without apology by our highest constitutional ideals. So I choose to stand with Donald Trump and every American who knows we can make America great again. You know, it really is amazing at a time that 7 out of 10 Americans know our country's headed in the wrong direction. The other party literally nominated someone who personifies the failed status quo in our nation's capital. I think the American people have had enough, and they've especially had enough of the fast and loose ethics of Hillary and Bill Clinton. We've had enough. I mean, it's almost hard to keep up, but let me see if I can break it down for you, all right? So while Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State in charge of all the foreign policy of the United States of America, she had a private family foundation that took millions of dollars from foreign governments. And then she had this private server to apparently keep all of what was going on out of the public reach. And when the media found out about that private server, she used high technology and hammers to try and get rid of all of it. Now, last summer the FBI found out that she had classified information on that private server that could be hacked by foreign powers and compromise our national security. But the FBI concluded last summer that she was only extremely careless, and I guess yesterday she just announced that they had not changed that conclusion. But as they say, facts are stubborn things, so why don't we remind ourselves of some of the facts? Here's a fact for you. Mishandling classified information is a crime. I mean, Hillary Clinton said she never sent or received classified information, and when the director of the FBI testified before Congress, he said, quote, there was classified information sent. Hillary Clinton said that there was nothing marked classified on her emails, and the director of the FBI told Congress, quote, that's not true. I mean, we found out that the FBI said that officials at the State Department offered the FBI a quid pro quo if they'd let them change the classified status on some of those documents that were on her private server. Remember that? And then we just heard that Hillary Clinton asked her maid to print out government emails and sensitive documents on their printer at her home in Washington. Let me say this to you, New Hampshire, from my heart. If only for their decades of the politics of personal enrichment, mishandling classified information, compromising our national security, and outright corruption, we must ensure here in the state of New Hampshire that Hillary Clinton is never elected president of the United States of America. If only for that. New Hampshire, in just one day, the people of this state can put an end to decades of Clinton corruption. We can close the history books on the Clintons once and for all by electing Donald Trump as President of the United States. The American people are just sick and tired of pay-to-play politics and the ethics of these people. And that's exactly the kind of politics that's going to come to a crashing halt when Donald Trump becomes president of the United States. His only special interest is going to be you, the American people. He's going to fight for you every day. And when Donald Trump becomes president, we're going to pass ethics reform in Washington, D.C. We're going to end the revolving door between government and the lobbying community. In a word, we're going to drain the swamp. Because, as we go into this election day tomorrow, easily the most dramatic choice that I think we'll ever face in our lifetimes. It's important as we talk to our neighbors and friends in the hours that remain that this election is about even bigger things than their small ethics. It's about our security. It's about our prosperity. And it's about the Supreme Court of the United States of America. And we need to talk about that. So while we await the arrival of my running mate, let me just take a minute to remind you of some of the big issues. First, on national security. Remember, despite traveling millions of miles as our Secretary of State, there's no question the world is more dangerous today than the day that Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama took over our foreign policy. Our allies are less secure, our enemies are more emboldened. 7.5 years of the kind of foreign policy, the architect of which was Hillary Clinton, of leading from behind, of moving red lines, of feigning resets with Russia, and paying ransom to terrorist-sponsoring states is emblematic of the kind of weak and feckless leadership that's weakened America's place in the world. Hey, let me make you a promise. When Donald Trump is president of the United States, we won't be paying ransom to terrorist-sponsoring states. They'll be paying a price if they threaten or detain the American people. But you know, it was Hillary Clinton who initiated that disastrous agreement with the radical mullahs in Iran. They got a ransom payment, $150 billion. All we got was a delay in the nuclear ambitions of the leading state sponsor of terrorism in the world. And it was Hillary Clinton who failed to negotiate an agreement with the sovereign government of Iraq that would have allowed us to leave a sufficient number of U.S. forces to preserve what the American soldier had won in Operation Iraqi Freedom. And let history record, through great sacrifice and courageous service, the American soldier won the peace and security of the people of Iraq in Operation Iraqi Freedom by 2008. It was done. In fact, I'm very confident in a crowd of this size that there's more than a few men and women that wore the uniform in that conflict or have worn the uniform of our armed forces in the course of their lives. Would y'all just mind raising your hand if you've worn the uniform of the United States, and let us thank you one more time. Thank you for your service. But right now we stand here today because of the poor judgment of Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. There's 5,000 American special forces outside Mosul having to win back from the clutches of the terrorist organization ISIS what was already won when this administration took office. And lastly, it was Hillary Clinton and her State Department who left Americans in harm's way in Benghazi. And after four Americans fell, Hillary Clinton told the families of the fallen as their flag-draped coffins came off the aircraft at Dover Air Force Base that it was because of a filmmaker back here in the States when she had emailed her own daughter the night of the attack that it was a terrorist attack. When she was questioned about that inconsistency before the Senate, you know, the story they told for a while, she said words I'll never forget. Hillary Clinton said of those four fallen Americans, quote, "What difference at this point does it make?" Well, let me say something from my heart here. As the proud father of a United States Marine, anybody who said that, anybody who did that, should be disqualified from ever serving as Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the United States of America. You do not leave Americans in harm's way and not send help. And after American heroes fall, you do not say, "What difference does it matter? Why?" We cannot have 4 more years apologizing to our enemies and abandoning our friends. For America to be safe, for the world to be safe, America needs to be strong. And Donald Trump will lead on the world stage with American strength. We will rebuild our military. We will restore the arsenal of democracy. We will give our soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Coast Guard the resources and training they need to accomplish their mission. And we will hunt down and destroy ISIS at its source so it can no longer threaten our people or inspire violence in the homeland. So it's about security abroad, but it's also about safety here at home. You know, the truth is, this is a very challenging time for men and women who serve in law enforcement in this country. You notice that? I mean, every time tragedy happens when a police officer is performing their duties, instead of just demanding answers and full transparency, which is our right as citizens, there's too many on the liberal left and too many in the national media that are prepared to use a broad brush to demean all of law enforcement as a force for division in our society. You know what I mean? I mean, Hillary Clinton, actually in the wake of one of these tragedies, Hillary Clinton referred to institutional bias in all of law enforcement. Well, let me just say, Donald Trump and I don't believe the men and women who serve in law enforcement are a force for division. We believe they're a force for good. They are the best of us, and they deserve the support of the rest of us. You know, there's a lot of members of the law enforcement community who are here tonight. Would you just show them how much you appreciate what they do for our families every day? Let me make you a promise. As a chief law enforcement officer of the United States of America, a President Donald Trump will support the men and women in law enforcement at every level. We will provide them with the resources and the tools that they need to protect our families and go home safe to theirs, and we will restore law and order to every city and every community in this country. You know, that's probably why more than 330,000 members of the Fraternal Order of Police have endorsed Donald Trump to be the next president of the United States. So it's about security and safety at home and abroad, but it's also about our prosperity. Now, I can tell you, back in the Hoosier State, any progress we've made in the last 7.5 years has been in spite of what's coming out of Washington, D.C., not because of it. We're in the midst of the weakest economic recovery since the Great Depression. 1 in 5 American families has nobody under the same roof with a job. 47 million Americans are living in poverty. Hillary Clinton's plan, more of the same. Not the same, more of the same. More taxes, more regulation, more of the war on American energy, and worst of all, more Obamacare. You know, they tell us this economy is the best that we can do, but I think New Hampshire knows better. It's not the best we can do. It's just the best they can do. And when Donald Trump becomes president of the United States of America, we're going to put time-honored conservative principles into practice, and we're going to get back to work. Going to get America working again. Because Donald Trump's got a plan. Hillary Clinton wants to raise taxes by $1 trillion. We're going to work with the good Congressman Frank Ginta. We're going to work with newly re-elected Republican majorities in the House and the Senate, and we're going to cut taxes across the board for working families, small businesses, family farms. We're going to get rid of death taxes once and for all, and we're going to lower business taxes in New Hampshire so that companies in New Hampshire can compete with companies around the world and create and grow jobs here. And Donald Trump and I are going to have a moratorium on any new federal red tape on day one, and we're going to repeal every single Obama executive order that's stifling jobs and growth in the American economy. And when Donald Trump becomes negotiator in chief, you with me on that? We're going to have trade. We're going to do trade deals. But once again, trade's going to mean jobs, but it's going to be American jobs first. We're going to renegotiate NAFTA. We're going to get out of this Trans-Pacific deal, and we're going to hold our trading partners accountable to the commitments that they make to the people who live in the most powerful economy on earth. And lastly, when Donald Trump becomes president of the United States, working with newly re-elected majorities in the House and Senate, we're going to repeal Obamacare, lock, stock, and barrel. And we're going to hold them accountable for all the lies. You remember all the lies? If you like your health insurance, you can keep it. Not true. Right? If you like your doctor, you can keep him. Not true. Remember they said health insurance costs would go down. Boy, that wasn't true. The administration just announced a couple days ago, 25% increase next year alone, nationwide in premiums under Obamacare. I mean, it's pretty amazing. Even our opponent's husband, the former president, was out on the campaign trail the other day, and he said costs are going up, coverage is going down. It's the craziest thing in the world. I guess even with the Clintons, sometimes truth happens. Am I right? Yeah, but here's the thing. Don't be fooled by Bill Clinton's newfound skepticism about Obamacare. Earlier this year, Hillary Clinton said it very clearly. She said, quote, before they called it Obamacare, they called it Hillary Care. And she's got a plan. Talk about going from the frying pan into the fire. Hillary Clinton actually wants to bring the worst of the Canadian healthcare system and put it right in the middle of Obamacare. It's called single payer. She does. Government-run health insurance right into the heart of Obamacare. I mean, now it's no surprise because one of those speeches she didn't want us to read, she gave up in Canada, and she said she'd like a healthcare system just like theirs down here someday. My favorite line, though, came from President Obama himself. Did you hear about this? He was down in Miami about a week ago, bragging about Obamacare. And the president actually compared Obamacare to the Samsung Galaxy 7 smartphones that spontaneously burst into flames. I'm serious. Did you see it? Here's what the president said. He said, quote, when one of these smartphones has a few bugs, they don't pull it off the market. They upgrade it, they fix it. Unless it catches fire, then they pull it off the market. Well, what a coincidence, Mr. President, because that's exactly what we're going to do with Obamacare. We're going to pull it off the market so it stops burning up our wallets. When Donald Trump becomes president, we're not just going to repeal Obamacare, we're going to replace it with health care reform that lowers the cost of health insurance without growing the size of government. All right? We're going to give the American people not more government, we're going to give them more choices. We're going to allow the American people to purchase health insurance across state lines, like you buy life insurance, like you buy car insurance. We're going to harness the power of the American free market to drive down the cost of health care. That's the American way to meet the health care needs in an American economy. Right? So it's about our security, it's about our prosperity, but it's also about the highest court in the land. Men and women, I'll tell you what, if you cherish our Constitution, if you cherish limited government, if you cherish all the God-given liberties that are enshrined there, you need to think long and hard about this election. I mean, the balance of the Supreme Court is virtually on the ballot with the passing of Justice Scalia. But the next president could well make 2 and maybe 3 appointments to the court, setting the course and direction of the Supreme Court for the next 40 years. I mean, truthfully, if elect Hillary Clinton as the next president, you better get used to more unelected judges using unaccountable power to legislate from the bench. But you elect Donald Trump as the next president in the United States, you'll have men and women appointed to the Supreme Court and all of our federal courts who will strictly construe the Constitution of the United States of America and uphold our liberties in the tradition of the late and great Justice Antonin Scalia. So for the sake of our Constitution, for the sake of limited government, for the sake of the sanctity of life and the unborn, for the sake of the Second Amendment to the Constitution of the United States, New Hampshire, one day from now, you must do your part to ensure that the next president to make appointments to the Supreme Court of the United States is President Donald Trump. So, as I wrap up, and I'm going to slide off the stage, and the next time you see me, you'll see him. I want to leave you with a challenge. I got a couple things for you to do, because this isn't about rallies, right? This is about making a difference. I mean, this is no ordinary time in the life of our nation. I'll never forget the night. It seems like just yesterday, Karen and we'd been told the call was coming. We'd prayed through it. We talked through it as a family. We knew what our answer would be. And the phone rang, and I picked up the phone, and I heard that very familiar voice on the other end of the line, and he said, "Mike, it's going to be great." And it has been. And it will be when we make Donald Trump the President of the United States of America. It's going to be great. But we said yes in a heartbeat. We said yes in a heartbeat because I believe that man has the leadership and the vision to make America great again. And also I believe this country's in a lot of trouble. I mean, we walked away from a job that we love in the state that we love to stand beside this man, because this is no ordinary time in the life of our nation. It's time for us to do all we can, each of us. So I want to challenge you to do three things. Number one, vote. Bring a friend. Friends don't let friends vote alone. Pack a lunch. All right? I mean, seriously, folks, just get out there and talk to your neighbors and friends in the hours that remain and remind them the price that's been paid for the right to vote. Remind them of that. And go vote. Go vote for change. Secondly, I want you to, as you make plans to go vote, I want you to go tell somebody. Even yet tonight or first thing tomorrow, through the course of the day tomorrow, I want you to tell them about this election. That this is to me, I don't see this election so much even as between liberal and conservative or between Republican and Democrat. I honestly believe that, like Ronald Reagan said, that the choice in this election is between up and down. And here's the way I see it. Tell your neighbors and friends, this is a choice of whether we're going to continue to go down the same hill we've been going down to a weaker America on the world stage, a more hollowed out American military, an economy more stifled by high taxes, regulation, Obamacare, bad trade deals, and America walking farther and farther away from our most cherished constitutional ideals and principles, or whether here in New Hampshire we're going to stop, plant our feet, turn around, and march back up the hill to a stronger America at home and abroad, a more prosperous America built on economic freedom and limited government, an America that cherishes without apology our highest constitutional ideals. It's up or down. And you got to go tell somebody. Tell them what the choice is. And the last thing I'd say to you is have faith. Have faith in the American people. That when every time throughout our history, in the long and storied history of New Hampshire and of this great nation, I think you can find evidence again and again that every time the American people were presented with a clear choice for a stronger America, a more prosperous America built on economic freedom, an America that reaffirms our commitment to our highest ideals and principles, the American people have chosen strength and freedom and prosperity and economic freedom and our highest American ideals every single time. So have faith in the American people. And lastly, if you're of a mind to exercise that other kind of faith, to bow the head and bend the knee in the next day, be a good time to do that too. Really would. I mean, this is a very challenging time in the life of our nation. And If there's ever a time to pray for our country, now's the time. But let me make it clear to you. I'm here for the man. I'm here for the ticket. I'm here for the team. I'm here for the movement. But on this one, I think Abraham Lincoln had it pretty close to right. He was asked one time if he thought God was on his side. And Abraham Lincoln replied, I rather concern myself more with whether we're on God's side than if God's on our side. So just pray for our country. Pray for America. Because America matters far beyond our shores. We're the last best hope of earth. And if you take time to pray, I just encourage you, those of you who are of a mind, to pray with confidence. Drawn from that ancient truth that the Pilgrims claimed when they stepped off onto Plymouth Rock, that Americans have claimed throughout our history in much more challenging times than we face today. Those ancient words that Americans have clung to, that if His people who are called by His name will humble themselves and pray, He'll do like He's always done throughout our long and storied history. As the old book says, He'll hear from heaven and He'll heal this land. This one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So men and women in New Hampshire, the main event is just around the corner. But I want to encourage you. I'm deeply humbled to be with you today. Deeply humbled my family are to find ourselves in this position at such a time as this. But I want to make you a promise before he gets here. And that's simply this. If you go out in New Hampshire, a state that could well decide this election, make no mistake about it. I mean, this race is on. We're leading in one national poll after another. The people of New Hampshire have it in their hands to set our nation on a course to make America great again by electing Donald Trump as the President of the United States. So take it to heart. And I'll make you a promise. If in the next less than 24 hours you do everything you can do, I'll make you this promise. That man is ready. This team is ready. This movement is obviously ready. If you go out and make sure that New Hampshire is ready, we will elect Donald Trump as the 45th President of the United States of America, and we will make America great again. Let's go get it done, New Hampshire. Thank you, and God bless you.
by the days when you were mine, where we had our ups and downs. The bad outweighed the good. We had tried to work it out. Hell, I wondered if we could. Now I'm feeling lost and so alone. Yeah, I'm bleeding, spinning way out of control. Well, you say you need your time, that you need your space. Oh, baby, I don't understand. All I got to say is, what about me? What about us? What about life, baby? What about love? What about all our hopes, our plans, and all our dreams? Yeah. What about me? Yeah, I'm drinking. All the rumors are true, really sinking. In a broken heart of blue. Well, you told me you still love me, but girl, how could it be? If you still want your freedom, then you ain't wanting me. So what about me? What about us? What about life, baby? What about love? What about all our hopes, our plans, and all our dreams? What about me? You say you're gonna go, I wave goodbye. Goodbye, baby. Don't you worry about all these tears I've cried. These conversations with an open bottle of wine, let me know that today I'll be alright.
Joe Seals here in the RSBN studio headquarters in Auburn, Alabama. Mr. Trump will be out shortly. Any second now, actually. This is the second to the last rally tonight. We're also going to be in Grand Rapids, Michigan for the grand finale tonight. Governor Pence and Mr. Trump will be live in Grand Rapids at 11 o'clock Eastern time, though we may be a little bit behind schedule because this is already behind schedule just a little bit. So make sure you tune into that. It's going to be awesome. This is the last hurrah for us here as far as covering Trump rallies, which is kind of our what we're known for. So, but fear not, we have lots more things in the works, which you'll see a lot of, hopefully, in the next few days. And tomorrow night, I'd like to join everybody invite everybody to join us tomorrow night for our election coverage. Dennis Michael Lynch will be a guest on RSBN tomorrow night, hosting. We'll simulcast it between his Facebook page and our YouTube channel, so you don't want to miss that. We'll hold a broadcast tomorrow between 5 and 5:30 Eastern time, and then again at between 8 and 11 Eastern time. So you don't want to miss that. And we'll also be live at the Trump Victory Party in New York tomorrow night. RSBN has a camera there. It's going to be awesome. So make sure you tune in right here to watch the full thing on RSBN. Please help us. We're trying to grow and compete with the mainstream media. You can donate to us at rsbn.tv/donate. Mr. Trump will be out shortly. Stay with us here at RSBN.
Good evening. Sounds like you're ready to win tomorrow, right? With Donald Trump and Mike Pence and the entire Republican ticket, and we're going to turn America around, move it in the right direction, drain the swamp in Washington, get rid of Obamacare, right? Now, do we have the right candidate for it? Nobody owns him. Nobody controls him. He's his own man. He tells you what he thinks, and he does what he says. Very different than the, what do we want to call her on the other side? Well, whatever, we're down to the last couple of hours, and by tomorrow, the Clintons will just be one of those bad parts of our history, like Watergate. You know, 30 years from now, our kids will write about it, and it'll be like Watergate, Teapot Dome, except this will be selling out the State Department, using the Clinton Foundation to pay for their daughter's wedding. Who paid for your daughter's wedding? You did, right? It cost you a lot of money. And you know the best test of a really good presidential candidate who will make a great president? Who does he pick for vice president? Did he make a great pick for vice president? Tremendous experience in Congress, understands foreign policy, understands the budget, a great governor of the state of Indiana, and the next vice president of the United States, Mike Pence.
America's mayor, everybody. Well, the time has come, and it is my high honor and distinct privilege to introduce to all of you here in the great state of New Hampshire the next President of the United States of America, Donald Trump.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Man, there's a lot of people. This is fantastic. Thank you very much. So, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much. First of all, we made a great choice in picking Governor Mike Pence, didn't we? Didn't we? Oh, I'm looking.
Thank you. Thank you, Karen. What a group. Mike, this is big by any standard. Do you agree? Look at it. And here's the good news. There are thousands of people outside trying to get in. You believe what's going on? So it all began for me in New Hampshire. It's the first state we won. Remember the promise I made. We will stop those drugs from pouring in, poisoning your children, poisoning everyone else. And they will work very hard to get people off that addiction. It's going to happen. We're going to do it. I said I was going to do it, and we're going to do it. So I want to thank everybody in New Hampshire. Thank you. Also, my family was here. I said, come on. My children were here. Anna, just Tiffany, Jared, Ivanka. Now, we know the Pence family, very, very famous. And by the way, I just looked at the numbers. Indiana's doing very well. You have done a great job. A great job. Thank you. Thank you, Karen. Don Jr., Vanessa, Eric, and Laura. They've been such a big part. And you know, I've been reading about all these surrogates going all over for Hillary Clinton. But I had my family, I had the best surrogates of all. They were all over. They were all over. So I just want to thank you. Ivanka, maybe on behalf of the family, say a couple of words. Go ahead.
Well, I was not planning on speaking tonight, but I did want to be here on this last night prior to Election Day to support my father. I am so incredibly proud of him, what he's accomplished today, and I know tomorrow will be another great day. And then he will get to the real work of making this country great, of working for you, the American people, and he will never, ever let you down. Thank you, we're grateful, and God bless.
Thank you very much. So again, go and enjoy it. Let's go have a good time. And by the way, we are going right after this to Michigan because Michigan is in play. And I may get there a little bit late, but they're waiting. We have thousands and thousands of people. The polls just came out. We're leading in Michigan. We're leading in New Hampshire. We're leading in Ohio. We're leading in Iowa. Leading in North Carolina. I think we're doing really, really well in Pennsylvania. And I do believe we are leading in Florida. So it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. So I want to thank everybody. And folks, go ahead. And Mike, I'll see you in a little while. I think Mike is going to come with me to Michigan, right? Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much. Well, you know, we said we want to finish off in New Hampshire because of the incredible relationship I have. But who would have expected this, right? Who would have expected that? This is some good. So, a couple of things. Two people I have a lot of respect for, really like as people, credible people. And because they're so important to the area, I thought I would give you this information. They've told me I can do it. So I will do it. Tom Brady, great guy, great guy. Great guy, great friend of mine, great champion, unbelievable winner. He called today and he said, Donald, I support you, you're my friend, and I voted for you. And I want to tell you, this guy is a champ, and he is a winner, and he is a great person. So I said, so Tom, you voted for me, you support me. Am I allowed to say it tonight to this massive crowd in New Hampshire? He said, if you want to say it, you can say it, okay? Tom, that's what a champ is all about. And another person very close to Tom, actually, for a lot of reasons you'll understand in a second. I have unbelievable respect for him, champion in every way. And I was in the plane and they handed me a letter, and it was from Coach Belichick. And he wrote me the most beautiful letter, and it was only 2 hours ago. So we called back, we said, do you think that Mr. Trump could read that letter to the people of New Hampshire? And he said, absolutely, if you'd like. He said, but do me a favor, don't read that letter. Let me send one that's a little bit different. So I figured he was going to take all the good things out, right? Like most gutless people do. Gutless. But he's the opposite. He's a champ. So he sent me the new letter, and it was much better. It was stronger. See, most people don't do that. Most people are the opposite. Oh, gee, I don't want to get involved. This guy is a true champ. So he writes, Coach Belichick, congratulations on a tremendous campaign. You have dealt with an unbelievable, slanted and negative media and have come out beautifully. Beautifully. You've proved to be the ultimate competitor and fighter. Your leadership is amazing. I have always had tremendous respect for you, but the toughness and perseverance you have displayed over the past year is remarkable. Hopefully tomorrow's election results will give the opportunity to make America great again. Best wishes for great results tomorrow, Bill Belichick. So I just want to. It is funny, though. When he said, I really want to redo the letter, I really did expect to get a little bit, because I understand how most people work, but most people aren't the coach. So Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, I want to thank you both. And go win a good Super Bowl or whatever you want to do. Boy, what a combination. Never been a better combination. But when you know them personally, like I do, they're even better. Tomorrow we are going to win the great state of New Hampshire. And we are going to take back the White House. We are going to deliver historic, once-in-a-lifetime change. When the people of this country, from Florida to Minnesota, from New Mexico to right here in New Hampshire, step onto the voting booth, tomorrow there is one fundamental question for you to consider. Do you want America to be ruled by the corrupt political class? Or do you want America to be ruled again by the people? I am asking for the votes of all Americans. Democrats, Republicans, independent, first-time voters, and there are a lot of those first-time voters, folks, who are so desperately in need of change. Can you imagine having Hillary Clinton for 4 years? Can you imagine? Hillary Clinton's only allegiance is to herself, her donors, and her special interests. My only special interest is to you. Believe me, is to you. That's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm doing this. The corrupt special interests have stolen your jobs and shipped your wealth to other countries. They've betrayed the working class of this country. Tomorrow, the American working class will strike back. It's about time. Real change begins with immediately repealing and replacing Obamacare. It's just been announced that Americans nationwide are going to experience a massive double-digit and triple-digit premium hike. Over 90% of the counties in New Hampshire are losing Obamacare insurers next year. Lots of luck in your negotiation. Honestly, folks, not going to matter. We're going to have it terminated. We're going to have great health care at a fraction of the cost. So it's not going to matter. I want you to leave here happy tonight. Premiums are surging. Companies are leaving. Insurers are fleeing. Doctors are quitting. And deductibles are going through the roof. Yet Hillary Clinton wants to double down on Obamacare, making it even more expensive. I'm asking for your vote so we can repeal and replace Obamacare and save health care for every family in New Hampshire and in our country. Real change also means restoring honesty to government. Let's start by getting rid of Clinton. That's the best. By the way, did you ever see anything like happening right now? Have we ever seen anything like this? 4-star General James Cartwright, 2 weeks ago, for a tiny, tiny infraction by comparison, can go to jail for up to 5 years and might very well. General Petraeus' life was destroyed, reputation totally destroyed, for something that was a fraction of what Hillary Clinton did. What a shame, what a shame, so sad. Hillary Clinton is the most corrupt person ever to seek the office of the presidency of the United States. She threatened national security. She sold her office to the highest bidder. And then, to cover her tracks, she deleted 33,000 emails after receiving a congressional subpoena. That in itself disqualifies her from running for president. She shouldn't be allowed to run. She's being protected by a totally rigged system. I've been saying it for a long time. Drain the swamp. Hillary has shown contempt for the working people of this country. Her campaign in WikiLeaks has spoken horribly about Catholics and evangelicals and so many others. They got it all down, folks. WikiLeaks. WikiLeaks. And what Podesta said about her? Bad instincts. He said she's got bad instincts. And Bernie Sanders said bad judgment, right? So do we want a president with bad instincts and bad judgment? I don't think so. We're going to stand up for the Catholics, and we're going to stand up for the evangelicals.
WikiLeaks just released another debate question. Hillary got another one just 1 hour ago. I said I have to mention it. You know, if you go to West Point or Annapolis or the Air Force Academy, and if you get the questions to a test, and if you don't report yourself, they throw you out. Sad. Sad. To me, it's one of the bad things. A lot of my people, they say, oh, let's not talk about that. I said, talk about it. Donna Brazile got the questions. Donna Brazile took those questions and gave them to Crooked Hillary, right? And Crooked Hillary didn't do anything. She took the question. And I'll tell you what, if I were Bernie Sanders, I wouldn't be too happy. And she probably did it with me too, but did we win those debates or what? Wouldn't matter. Wouldn't matter. So she got those questions. She never turned them in, folks. Remember, you're dealing with a very dishonest person. My contract with the American voter begins with a plan to end government corruption and to take our country back from the special interests. I want the entire corrupt Washington establishment to hear these words from all of us. When we win tomorrow, we are going to drain the swamp. That is something. That is something. At the core of my contract is my plan to bring our jobs back. New Hampshire has lost 1 in 4 of its manufacturing jobs since NAFTA, a disaster. A deal signed by Bill Clinton and supported by his lovely wife, Hillary. Amazingly, America has lost, listen to this, 70,000 factories since China entered the World Trade Organization, another Bill and Hillary-backed disaster. We are living through the single greatest jobs theft in the history of the world. There's never been anything like this. A Trump administration will stop the jobs from leaving America, and we will stop the jobs from leaving New Hampshire. Believe me, we will stop those jobs. If a company wants to fire their workers, leave New Hampshire and move to another country, and then ship their products back into the United States through what will soon be a very, very strong and powerful border, we will make them pay a 35% tax on those products. And you know what's going to happen? You know what's going to happen? They're never leaving. They're staying. They're staying. We will renegotiate NAFTA, stand up to China, and stop the job-killing Trans-Pacific Partnership. As part of our plan to bring back jobs, we are going to lower taxes on American business from 35% to 15%. We will massively cut taxes for the middle class. Hillary Clinton is raising taxes very substantially. We will cancel billions in global warming payments to the United Nations, billions and billions and billions of dollars, and nobody knows where it goes, and nobody knows what it's used for. I know where it goes. It goes into a lot of people's pockets. That's where it goes. And we will use that money to invest in environmental infrastructure in the United States of America, if you don't mind, right? And we will rebuild our inner cities and the African American community and the Hispanic community will love what's going to happen, because the inner cities, in so many cases, are like living in hell. Crime is rampant, horrible. You can't walk to a store without getting shot. Schools are terrible, as bad as it gets, and there are no jobs. We're going to bring back the jobs. We're going to fix the schools and make them terrific. And we're going to make the inner city safe. We're going to make them safe. And as you know, the Democrats, for longer than 100 years in many cases, unbroken chain, have been in charge of the inner cities. And you know what they want? They want your vote. Then they say, see you in 4 years, folks. They do nothing. I will fix the inner cities. And I ask you, though, what do you have to lose? Believe me, we will do such a great job. What do you have to lose? And we've been doing very well. If you look down in Florida, look at those long lines. We have been doing very well with the African American community and with the Hispanic community, and all of the dishonest press. They're saying, what's going on here? What's going on? Among the world's most dishonest people. Look at all of them. Oh, look at all those cameras. Look at all of those cameras. Why don't you twirl the cameras, folks? Go ahead, twirl them. Show the crowd. Show the crowd. They don't do it. And outside you have another 10,000, it was just reported, 10,000. These are the world's bad people. They're dishonest people. They're very, very dishonest people. Not all of them, but I would say most of them and all of them. You heard the coach, he mentioned it too. I guess he's got his difficulties with them also. No, they're very dishonest. I will be a champion for all Americans against this unfair and corrupt system. We will become a rich nation again. But to be a rich nation, we must also be a safe nation. Hillary Clinton wants a 550% increase in Syrian refugees coming into the United States. Can't do it, folks, can't do it. Her plan will import generations of terrorism, extremism, and radicalism into your schools and throughout your communities. When I'm elected president, we will suspend the Syrian refugee program. And we will keep radical Islamic terrorists the hell out of our country. Believe me. A Trump administration will also secure and defend the borders of the United States. And yes, we will build a great, great wall. And don't forget, New Hampshire, I promised you, when I won New Hampshire in the primary, I promised you. I said, we are going to stop the drugs from flowing in. We're going to stop them from flowing in. We're going to stop the drugs from poisoning your children and plenty of others. We're going to build the wall. I was endorsed by so many people having to do with the borders, the Border Patrol agents, ICE, all endorsed Donald Trump. Such an honor for me, because these are great people that want to do their job. But I promised you that if I got this far, you were the first ones. And you were the first ones that really taught me how bad the drug epidemic is. I met with your police, who are incredible people, by the way, and they explained. And I guess it made a big impact on me because I love New Hampshire. I love the beauty of New Hampshire. The trees, the winding roads, the lakes, the rivers, the whole thing, the little streams. So I'd meet with people and I'd say, what's your biggest problem? And they'd say, heroin. I say, heroin. It made such an impact because it just doesn't seem to work with the beauty of your area. But I said we would stop it. We will stop it 100%. And then we are going to work on helping the people who are so seriously addicted. Okay? We are going to do it. Hillary Clinton totally supports open borders. There goes your country. Which means unlimited drugs pouring into your states, pouring into our country. Hillary also strongly supports sanctuary cities like San Francisco, where Kate Steinle was murdered by an illegal immigrant and deported probably more than 5 times. We will cancel all federal funding to sanctuary cities, believe me. All of it. We will stop illegal immigration, stop the drugs from pouring into our country, and dismantle every last criminal gang and cartel threatening our citizens. We will also repeal the Obama-Clinton defense sequester and rebuild our badly depleted military. We need it so badly now. This will be a national effort, and a major part of this rebuilding will be the Portsmouth Naval Shipyard. Going to be a big part of it, folks, a big part. We have now the smallest Navy, by the way. Does anyone know this? The smallest Navy that we've had since World War I. We're going to build it back up. I'm honored to have the endorsement of more than 200 top admirals and generals and 22 Medal of Honor recipients, and the list goes on and up every day. Hillary and our failed establishment have dragged us into foreign wars that have made us less safe and that we never win. We never win. We fight and fight and fight. Like Mosul, we give them 4 months' notice. We're going into Mosul. What about the element of surprise? Remember the old element of surprise? We are going to be attacking Mosul in 4 months. We will hit them from the rear. We will hit them from the front. We will paratroop in. We will do all sorts of things. Then 3 months, they say again. Then 2 months, then 1 month, and a couple of weeks ago I'm hearing, we expect to be attacking Mosul next week. These are smart people. One of the reasons we're attacking is we want to get the leaders of ISIS, who we feel are staying in Mosul. They left after the first mention that we're going to attack. Don't these people understand it? Oh, what a bunch of people we have. What a bunch of people. I mean, we've got a president. All he wants to do is campaign for crooked Hillary. That's all he wants to do. You know, he takes that big 747 Air Force One, those big old engines that spew the stuff, right? And he flies it all over the place campaigning for Hillary. And then he talks about, let's not affect the ozone layer. What a joke. What a joke. And he shouldn't be campaigning. He should be out trying to get our jobs back, trying to secure our borders, building up our military, stopping our drug problem. Amazing. Amazing. And Hillary can't fill a room. Look at this is called filling a stadium. And I have no guitar and no piano, right? I mean, she gets Jay-Z and Beyonce the other night. The language, right? The language was so bad. People were insulted. They started walking out. Hillary then walks onto the stage, hugs them, hugs them, hugs them. And then she says, Donald Trump uses such foul language. Give me a break. Did you hear what he was saying? And tonight she has Bruce Springsteen. What they don't say is this. So they perform. Actually, in the case of Jay-Z, they were leaving because so many of these people never heard language like that. They started to leave. So what happens, they come in, listen to the musician, which I think is demeaning to the, it's actually demeaning to the political process. They listen because she can't fill a room. She'd come here, she'd have, I'm telling you, she'd have 100 people sitting in the first row. We have 28,000 people, including the people outside. More than Beyonce, more than Jay-Z, more than anybody. And we don't have a guitar. What we do have is we all have together a great plan to make America great again. That's what we have. And also, in all fairness, is there any place better than a Trump rally to be? I mean, really. There's no place better. So these politicians have shipped our jobs and our wealth all over the world and left our borders wide open at home. That will change immediately upon our victory, believe me, immediately. Got to get out and vote. Tomorrow's the day. Got to get out. We got to get out and vote. One thing I'll say about New Hampshire, I've never disappointed New Hampshire, but New Hampshire has never disappointed me. Remember in the primaries, they said Donald Trump, the phony polls, these people, oy. They said Donald Trump may not win New Hampshire. I said, that's surprising. I think I'm going to win. I think I'm going to win. And then we won by 18 points. With a lot of people. We had 17 people. You know what else? Right next door in Massachusetts, where they're represented. Now I know why you like Belichick so much and Tom Brady. By the way, is there a better reference than Tom Brady and Bill Belichick for this era? I don't think so. I don't think so. In Massachusetts, we had, 14 people left? They go like this, boom, boom, boom. I think we had 14 people left. We got 49.5% of the vote. And these dishonest pundits said, Donald Trump has not broken 50. How do you break 50 when you have 14 people? But we won Massachusetts, got over 49%. And Massachusetts is represented by Pocahontas, right? Pocahontas. It's represented by Pocahontas. Oh, she's terrible. She is just a terrible person. Terrible. Clinton thinks she's doing herself a favor to use this woman as a surrogate. Everybody that watches her, they say, she is a terrible human being. She is terrible. So, I don't know who's going to challenge her, but whoever does, I hear a very great baseball pitcher is going to challenge her. He's a great, and you know what? He's a great guy. I don't know if he's going to do it, but he's a great guy. But Elizabeth Warren is terrible. And you know what? Let me tell you, she's a terrible senator. Take a look at what she's passed. Nothing. And in the Senate, everybody hates her. They don't want to even deal with her. So I'll make you a deal. You can have Pocahontas. I'll take Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, okay? And from now on, it's going to be America first. To all Americans, I say it's time for change and time for leadership. Just think about what we can accomplish in the first 100 days of a Trump administration. We're going to have the biggest tax cut since Ronald Reagan, even bigger. And Hillary is going to raise your taxes substantially. We're going to eliminate every unnecessary job-killing regulation. We will cancel every illegal Obama executive order. He goes out and plays golf so much that he doesn't have time to convince Congress to go and let's do it the way it's supposed to be done, right? Right? I mean, he's played more golf than most people in the PGA Tour. This guy, like, is it over 300 rounds? Hey, look, it's good. Golf is fine, but always play with leaders of countries and people that can help us. Don't play with your friends all the time. We are going to protect religious liberty, rebuild our military, and we are going to finally take care of our veterans properly. Our veterans properly. Our veterans have been very mistreated, and I want to thank them for the tremendous support, and the military, the tremendous support I get. They do polls, and it's like, forget it. It's like I'm not running against anybody. And our law enforcement has been so great. They've been great. We're going to provide school choice and put an end to Common Core. We're bringing our education local. And we will support the men and women of law enforcement. Great people. And save our Second Amendment, which is under siege. And appoint justices to the United States Supreme Court who will uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States. Think of this. I started on June 16th, long time ago, from way back. Can you imagine this? And now I can say, you have one day, but it's no longer one day. It's like just like tomorrow morning. Who is going to vote tomorrow morning, please? I promise you this. I will never, ever let you down. I promise you that. I didn't need to do this. You know, I built a great company, one of the great companies, some of the great real estate assets in the world. I enjoyed my life, and I was on the other side. You know, I'm criticizing the other side because I understand the other side as well as anybody. But our country was in trouble, and I love our country. And I looked at what was happening, and I'm really happy I did this. I'm really happy I did this. It's been an amazing experience, and we are indeed going to make our country great again. You have one day to make every dream you ever dreamed for your country and your family come true. You have one magnificent chance to beat this corrupt system and deliver justice for every forgotten man, for every forgotten woman, and for every forgotten child in this nation. Do not let this opportunity slip away. Folks, it's never going to happen again. Never going to happen. In 4 years from now, never going to happen again. And people are voting that they never saw before. These are great people, but they never saw anybody they wanted. They're voting in numbers like they've never seen in Texas, in Florida. No matter where you look, they're voting in numbers like they've never seen before. We are fighting for every citizen who believes that government should serve the people, not the donors and not the special interests. And we are fighting to bring us all together as Americans. Just imagine what our country could accomplish if we started working together as one people under one God, saluting one American flag. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Such a great honor. Incredible people. You're incredible people. I'm asking you to dream big because with your vote, we are just one day away from the change you've been waiting for your entire life. To all of the people in all of our cities and towns, I say these words to you tonight. I am with you, I will fight for you, and I will win for you. I will win for you. Together we will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you very much, everybody. God bless you. God bless you. Get out and vote. Thank you, everybody.
Joe Seals back here at the RSBN studio headquarters. We just broke a record. We are so thrilled. We just broke our own record. We had 66.6 thousand, I think, viewers watching at one time. That is a new record for us. We can't thank you guys enough. Don't forget, there is another rally coming up. The last rally for Trump of this election season is coming up next in Grand Rapids, Michigan. It says 11 p.m. Eastern on your screen. I think you can count on it being a little bit later than that, as this one is just wrapping up. We are thrilled and honored and humbled that you've chosen to spend this night with us here at RSBN, a historic night. We are trying to take on the mainstream media, and you see when Trump asked the cameras to move, we're the only cameras in the whole building that move, and we did this because you people ask us to document this movement. It's amazing, and we appreciate all of you guys' support and everything you've done. This has been an emotional ride. This has been so awesome for us to be a part of, to be at the rallies and to see and meet all of you guys, and we really appreciate everything. Please consider contributing to RSBN. We are only funded by you guys, the viewer. We don't take money from big investors or anything like that. We want to be the people's network, and we want to do things that the mainstream media won't do. And we are in the process of changing over our format to some new stuff coming up soon, and you'll see that. So don't forget tomorrow night to tune in to our election night coverage featuring Dennis Michael Lynch, who will be a guest on RSBN. We'll be simulcasting it to Facebook and also here to our YouTube page. And you can also remember tomorrow night we will be live. RSBN will be live from New York for the Trump victory speech tomorrow night. We are that confident that he's going to win. So you need to get out and vote if you haven't yet. And please contribute to RSBN. We need the help. It's very expensive to do these things. We've spent tens of thousands of dollars traveling over the last week, and we could certainly use the help if you could. It's rsbn.tv/donate. It's rsbn.tv/donate. I'm going to let this scene play out for a little while, and then you can join our stream, the stream in Grand Rapids, which is coming up next. The moderators will post a link to that. We'll start that stream here momentarily. So thank you guys for watching. Enjoy the last rally tonight. Soak it up.